Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to follow us wherever you listen so you don't miss any episodes or bonus content. If you love what we do and want an easy way to show your support, please consider leaving us a positive "that's all the stars" rating on your favorite listening platform. It helps SPN and fanfic lovers find us and share in the fun. I'm Sandra.
I'm Kasey, and it's over, you guys. It's over. I meant that to sound a little bit more hyped, but then I was like, no, actually, I'm a little bit sad about it. It's over. The Boys is finished.
Oh God, I bet you probably had people were clutching like, what's over? What's over, Kasey?
Well, no,
Explain yourself right now when you said that.
People have seen the title.
They might
the
not. They might have just went right into it and be like, wait, what's happening?
Okay, we're not over.
Okay.
We're not over. The Boys is over. It's been... How many years has it been now? Like 7 years? I think the first series
it started in 2019. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, oh my God, it's the before times.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
The before times.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all just a little bit... I turned to my husband when we'd finished the last episode, and I watched the whole last credits as well, like just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe they sneakily snuck something in. I'm watching the foreign language dub credits, like maybe it's right at the end. It wasn't. But I said to my husband, I was like, now what? He was like, I don't know. Wait for Vought Rising, I guess. And I was like, yeah, but that's not till next year. And he was like,
not till next year.
I don't know. So now what? Well, we gonna talk about it. That's now what.
I mean, the show itself, I think you could definitely say, has had a lot of ups and downs. I know I was holding my breath because I was like, there are so many ways it could suck. And we're going to get into like all the details and stuff, and then we'll like talk about it on the back end. But I was just like, please just don't suck. It was like,
I was really mad going into this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last episode had kind of tempered it a little bit. Oh, I suppose like spoiler warnings for The Boys in general, specifically season 5 and specifically the finale.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched it, pause it right now. We'll wait. Are you done? Right. Brilliant. So I was super mad. I had been mad since not the penultimate episode, the episode before that, when Soldier Boy was like, is what Clara would have wanted.
Mm.
Fuck you. I was so mad about that.
Mm.
I went on Discord and I raged about it. I was like, I'm done with the show. I'm so glad there's only 2 episodes left. I'm fucking done with it. I'm so over it. This is ridiculous. Like, supernatural writers might have forgotten the law, but they didn't spend the whole fucking season trying to sell us. Like, I had some big feelings about it, and I yelled at anyone who would listen to me about those big feelings because it was so like the first couple of episodes weren't, but like how do you call it? Beginning, middle, and end of a fucking season that has 8 episodes. Oh my God! But like the middle of the show was just absolute fucking. You know, there's like occasionally they put like product placement in like movies and stuff. I don't know if this is still a thing, but like sometimes they'll put like product placement in stuff and then they'll like reference it. Like this movie is brought to you by like fucking Pepsi or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like if it goes on ad breaks and shit. But it was like product placement, but for a different show. Mm. And like, this was not a backdoor pilot.
No, this was a prepping. This is what we're going to do. Like next, like they were.
Yeah, this was like
they were selling Vought Rising hard. Yeah,
it was like they'd kind of squished. Like if you imagine like a theater stage, they'd split it into like 2/3. They were still giving 2/3 of it to the ending of The Boys, but then they on the other side they were setting up like a whole another TV show, and you were supposed to just watch it all and be like, "This is probably fine." So I was really mad. And then Soldier Boy starts in on that. It's what Clara would have wanted, which I'm making that a meme. I'm making that a meme. We're already tossing it around in our Discord every time someone does something stupid. You have to respond with, "That's what Clara would have wanted." Like any fucking stupid decision you make, any stupid decision somebody else makes, anytime something sucks, you're like, "It's what Clara would have wanted," because it was so stupid. And I spent like the middle of this, like I wasn't even really interested in the show because I was just so mad that like everything was a shoe on for Vought Rising. So I went into this episode, like I cried at the end of the last episode because that was tragic. But also it would have been a hell of a lot more tragic if I didn't have way too much knowledge about radiation burns and sickness and poisoning and what happens when you expose a body to radiation. It would have had a hell of a lot more impact if I wasn't sitting there going, that's not quite how that works. He would have been throwing up before his body had started to burn like that. And then in the crucial "don't leave me" part, I was like eyeballing trying to see if the makeup department had put the burns on his face still. So I ruined it for myself a little bit. Sandra's like, I was crying. Like, you're fucking wrong.
I really don't care what the effects were going to be of what the fact that he was dying was. I was just in there in the moment of it.
If it had been anything else, if radiation hadn't have been a factor, I would have been totally in the moment. But unfortunately, it's like radiation sickness, the effect of radiation, like acute radiation poisoning, the effect of radiation on the human body is one of my like weird, niche, dark special interests. I was like, it's wrong.
Okay, so you don't have any of those. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't have any of those niche things that you know everything about. You don't have those.
Yeah. So, big X cross, see me, angry face on the riders there for that, because I was like, he should have been throwing up, but I realized that would have ruined the moment. But still, that's what should have been happening. So I was like big mad, and then we had the penultimate episode, and I left that going, but Frenchie. So, and you know what, actually, potentially controversial opinion here. I had found out because I watched last week's episode. It's Friday the 22nd on the day of the recording, so we're like 2 days post the last episode. But I had watched last week's episode, the penultimate episode, probably on like Monday, I think. It was still pretty close. But I had, like, in the sort of intervening days, I had seen the stuff going around that, like, oh, Jensen's not going to be in the finale. Like, that was Jensen's last scene with Homelander. And I was kind of relieved. I was like, I felt like this really big weight had come off going into the finale, because I was like, whatever happens, however bad it is, I'm not going to have to deal with crowbarred in Vought Rising. And that was a really big relief to me. So, like, how were you feeling going into the finale? Sandra, you yelled for a while there.
I mean, I think, like you said, there were a lot of moments that started to feel, and I mean, we'll talk about too, like the whole fact of like, well, we should probably talk about the fact
we are talking about it, Sandra.
No, I meant I didn't know when to like put this in, but like Gen V, right? Like the fact that that was a fumble at the end of Gen V. The assumption was Marie Moreau was going to have a lot more to do in bringing Homelander down, and they just had a couple cameo moments in it. And I the more I was thinking about it, I was like, they were trying to go back to the beginning in a way. And I think that the way the writing and everything was going, it does make perfect sense that at the end, you really want the boys back and the ones in the driver's seat doing the things that need to happen in the finale. Yeah. So I think that all of whoever's going to have, some people are like, it was a waste of 2 seasons. I don't think it was. I liked them playing in that part of the universe. I really do love those characters, even if we never see them again. I like what they did with those characters. I liked that storyline. I know a lot of things had happened that I heard that a lot of stuff got kind of like truncated and thrown into like the very final season, because I think you might have said it too. They didn't know what was going to be left for them to do, right? Like what would be happening in a future season. But the fact that one of the main actors had passed, they had to completely rewrite, refashion. And I mean, I think I heard like one whole season was really just supposed to be with them all like in prison and getting out. And that ended up not being a thing that we even saw. They were just out and then they were moving on. So I think
I didn't mind that so much, though.
I didn't mind it either. I feel like all signs were pointing to this, and it didn't happen. But in the end, I'm not mad about what we got at all. Like, I feel like they did things that made it feel earned for a lot of the characters. That I think if there were too many cooks in the kitchen, you wouldn't have had time. They'd be juggling, they'd be doing
Yeah.
all sorts of things that then you wouldn't get the impact that you got with these characters that really you've seen throughout all 5 seasons, even if other characters that people really liked got thrown in. You know what I mean? Soldier Boy, I think, was that thing that came out of the blue. I don't think people knew what they had with Soldier Boy until they had it. And then it was like, oh, and then they were like, well, we can go run with this now. So I think in a lot of ways, Jensen's character would have been too big and too much for what they ended up doing in the end. And I think I do think it was good. I was surprised. I remember telling you, I was like, was that what they're going to do?
What do you mean? Not finale.
I figured he was going to come back. I figured they were going to break him. Like something was going to happen. So it makes sense because, you put him on ice, you can always unfreeze him at some point for something else down the line. So I think I understand why they're holding on to that as an option. Kind of the same thing like they're doing with Gen V, right? Like there's nothing to say that you might not see them in one of the other spinoffs. I mean, I think they're doing The Boys Mexico or something like that I've heard about too. So
Christ.
There's no reason why we might not see these characters again, but I'm hoping
They just have a nice thing and be done with it, can you?
that's the whole thing, right? They're just commodifying everything, kind of like what they were making a satire about, the whole Vought in Enterprise anyway. Like everything's Vought this, Vought that, and they're doing that here. So they're kind of like art imitating life, imitating art. It's like, dudes.
I did say, I think it was for last week's episode, we have on our Discord, we had a weekly thread that was kind of like, keep all your boys shit in here, here be spoilers, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I did say last week, because we were all like, the sort of general vibe amongst certainly our Discord community, I won't speak for the boys fandom at large, was just general disappointment. Everybody could see the shoehorn in for Vought Rising, and the plot just kind of meandered. And I know there was stuff floating around of Kripke saying like, it's a parody of shitty final seasons and stuff like that. But I did say, I was like, it's probably hard as like a team of writers to write a political satire TV show when every idea that you come up with is either happening in real life or has been one-upped in some way in real life. Like
Yeah.
I do feel sorry for the writers
Mm-hmm.
in that respect.
Well, because you can't laugh, right? When you're living in it.
It's not funny.
It's not funny anymore because it's like, no, we're going through this. And I think, I'd heard Kripke, like they'd done their research, right? Like authoritarian governments and things, like historical stuff that they were kind of like pulling from. And I think he'd said something like, the golden statue was kind of like supposed to be like a riff off, I think, like Saddam Hussein or something like that.
Mm-hmm,
and then here we go. US, well, no, we're gonna. Here we go. Here's a gold statue. Here's this. Here's that. Here's somebody posting themselves as Jesus. And it's just like, oh my God! Anything that you thought was over the line, batshit crazy, we are experiencing, and that's a hard thing to go back and oh no, we're doing this. Yeah,
I rewatched all of everything leading up to season 5. And I'm gonna tell you, rewatching even the early seasons in 2026, it hits different. It's not as funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when it started, it was, it was plausible, but it was still satirical.
Yeah.
Is the whole country, secretly controlled by this one company or conglomeration or something? Well, yeah, probably it is. Yeah. But it's too real, guys. It's too real. I've said to a lot of people over the last 8 weeks, 6 weeks, however many. Yeah, 6. If they released 2 at once, I don't fucking know. The last period of weeks. The show would have been really funny 5 years ago. And it would have been even funnier 10 years ago. But it would never have been made 10 years ago because it would have been considered absurdist. It would have been over the line of satire into absurdism. And now you're like, it's just another Tuesday. Nothing in this is surprising to me anymore. I will say for Gen V, I watched the first Gen V and we watched it. We were coming off the back of season 3 with Soldier Boy. So I watched it like, there's no Soldier Boy, I don't like it. But I knew he was coming. So I sped through all of season 1 of Gen V to be like, Soldier Boy, Soldier Boy, Soldier Boy. And then I got my 5 minutes and I was like, I don't care anymore. And then I didn't watch season 2. But when I watched it again, like without that Soldier Boy pressure.
Mhm.
I actually found I really, really liked it, and I really liked the second season.
Yeah.
And I think maybe had Kripke known that it wasn't going to get a third, he probably could have left it at 1 at the wrap up of season 1, you know, where they tried to do the things and been smacked down and they were in jail. And, it, you know, you probably could have left it there.
Mhm.
But that was the thing I didn't like about Gen V was the overlap. Because I was like, no, tell me this story about
just their story. Yeah.
Superheroes in school. Tell me this story about superheroes in school. Like, I'm not opposed to a high school comedy, you know?
Mhm.
Like, am I going to sit and watch a 20 episode TV show on it? No. But like, do I like some of the old 90s high school college comedies? Yeah. I'll watch it. And it was, I liked it again. Because it was like in a similar way to The Boys, you know, you've got these underdogs fighting the powers that be and, you know, kind of like push and pull. And I liked it. Didn't like it so much when they started overlapping in Gen V season 2. And then, you know, I feel like they really wasted the characters coming in on season 5. Like, I'd rather they just be mentioned.
Yeah.
I'd rather they just said, oh, Marie and Jordan and Emma are going to get these people over the border to Canada. Because it's annoying to see these really great actors and these characters
that they only get like a little moment. Yeah.
Can do such cool things. And you're like, I'm fucking sorry. Marie Moreau can control somebody's blood in their body. Why are we not bringing her in on this? Like, it's a waste for me.
I think one of the issues that a lot of shows have, and I think Supernatural's a big example of this, is kind of having to keep upping the seasons and the baddies and what they're going to do. And like you said, if they could have just gone with, you know, growing pains of these young soups and what they're doing. And I think a lot of that, even the character, you know, the growth of Marie Moreau and her family relationship and her dealing with that and a lot of the powers and different things like that. But that would have been like a cool little like half hour like comedy, right? That they could have like slipped in and had like these different characters, and then maybe you got a little heavy, or then maybe but you can't. It's hard to ride that line with all the things I think that are going on with what they were trying to do with Gen V. So I think they attempted something, but then they just kept amping it up, and I think they just threw everything together at the end. That I think it was too much too soon. And it didn't give the characters more of a growth period that I think I would have like enjoyed watching. Because I think I really enjoyed season 2 more because getting to see more of the characters. I liked that. I liked that growth that we started seeing in them more and their relationships with each other and how they were trying to get through. So I think throwing them into this high stakes, right? Like even higher than what they were already dealing with. It was just like, well, now we've got to beat Homelander. And it's like, if they had just kind of gone through their own like battles, it would have been better.
Although that being said, I know that Gen V didn't get picked up for the 3rd season, but I would not be opposed to a revisit of those characters later, where we maybe see, you know, what the school looks like post Homelander. You know, what you know, in a kind of you know, and we will get into the in-depth of the final episode, but Stan Edgar's back at the head of Vought by the episode, and you're like, well, does anything change? Does anything stay the same? You know, I would be interested to see that. But also, my love for Gen V does not erase the fact that I inherently dislike this thing that seems to now be coming, and Disney fucking started it, and they can piss off, where there's a show stuff. And then there's a spin-off show. But you have to watch the spin-off show to understand. Like, I thought I would just be able to just rewatch the 4 seasons of The Boys and be done with it. But then it was like, oh no, you actually do have to watch Gen V because the virus is like the virus is crucially important to the final season. And I'm fucking mad about that. That's why I'm done with Marvel movies. Because like the MCU was great when it was movies, right? But I should not have to sit through fucking 8 or 12 episodes of friggin' WandaVision, which I don't care about, to understand you fucking the new Doctor Strange movie. That's stupid. Like, I don't like it. I'm not here for it. Don't like it.
I think the fact that, you know, a lot of shows now are inherently needing a recap. Here's a reminder. And I think a lot of that too has to do with the fact that we're waiting so long in between seasons. You know, we're not really given that that 3-month, hiatus or whatever before we get back into it, and we can I feel like you need to build some connection with characters for it to sustain itself over a really long period of time, and you kind of lose that every time you've got a year before another season comes out, and it's like, so there's not that.
We were talking to a guest. It's in the past recently for us, but the episode will come out in the future when you're listening to this, dear listener, and talking about that. And I feel like you lose touch with your audience because you can't, I don't know if this actually happens in filmmaking, but I know for Supernatural, by the time they were wrapping up, their 9 months of recording, the episodes had already started coming out. So if you had a character that did really well with your audience, you had a tiny bit of wiggle room to go, hey, can we bring them back for the finale? Can we find some way to bring them back in? And I don't know if that's realistic. I don't know if that actually happens. But I feel
you get sooner feedback. Yeah, the feedback is pretty quick.
you get that sort of instantaneous feedback when you film something, and then it spends a year with the FX department to put in all of the the fucking exploding dick and the whale and all the other shit that comes with it. And don't get me wrong, The Boys, Amazon's special effects department is the bomb. It's great, but you just you lose that disconnect.
Yeah, I'm just finding that detachment with so many shows like that now because they take so long to come out. Yeah.
And the seasons are so short, so it's not even like you've got something to tide you over. It's not like, this has been in production for post-production for a year, but here's 6 months worth of content, and then you've only got to wait another 6 months before the next. Nothing. It's just Vought Rising's finished. Yeah. We won't see it until next year, and then poor Jensen's got to go back on the press circuit like he is now currently for something that they finished filming a year ago. And you're like, but why? Jensen's telling stories at cons now about filming Vought Rising. He's not going to remember the same shit next year when it's out, and people are going to be like, hey, this scene that you did or this, and he's going to be like, did season 2 happen? I don't know.
He's got to build that up again, right? He's got to build that connection again to something that's been a year in the can, kind of a thing. And that might be hard. That might be difficult.
It takes away the hype a little bit. Remembering when Supernatural season 15 was airing, Jared and Jensen were watching it with us, because I know there was the big COVID gap, but it was still only a few months ago for them that they were filming it. So, they'd be, not so much Jensen, but Jared would be and he did it for Walker as well, be live tweeting it and this anecdote and this funny story and this behind the scenes and stuff like that. You can't do that when it's been over a year. And it's, I just feel like you lose the connection between your audience and your actors and your creators and your show writers and all that good stuff.
Yeah. One tangent before we get into this episode, though, I think because you made mention of the fact, with Gen V, you watched it waiting for Jensen, and I think you had that same feeling coming into the season because, of course, the big thing was Jensen was going to be reunited in a scene with Jared and Misha, right? And I know that was a big thing that everybody was is it going to be this episode? Is it going to be this episode? I intentionally stopped doing any kind of popping in to see any kind of conversations because I wanted to sort of be surprised when it happened because there was that anticipation of, is it going to be this episode? But like you said, you're anticipating something else that detracts from the story that you're sitting there watching because you're waiting for this reunion, right? Reunited. And it feels so good kind of a situation, for people, how was that for you? Because I remember watching and I was like, I gotta tell Kasey. They
Sandra, Sandra warned me. She was like, I
was trying to do it without just telling you. I was like, would you because I think you asked me a couple questions.
Yeah, you were like, have you watched this week's episode? And I was like, no. I think life had conspired. It wasn't. Although I am quite avoidant, so I was anxious about this episode, and I am quite avoidant. And I was like, no, I haven't watched it yet. But my husband wouldn't let us fall behind, so he was like, we're gonna watch this, and I was like, okay. And we had the day in mind, and I spent the whole day just feeling sick, and I was like, I should have watched this on my own first. I should have, but Sandra had messaged me and when she'd finished it and she was like, just be ready. And I was like, I think I'd asked you Misha and Jared fucking. And you were like, no, they are not. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because that was kind of like the rumor mill was going around. And like low-key, the trailers had kind of made it look a little bit like that.
Yeah. And low-key, Jared and Misha were kind of like...
We kind of made it look like that as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, does Jared die? And she was like, do you want me to answer that? And I was like, yes, I do. And she was like, okay, but spoilers back. She's like, yes. And I was like, genuinely, it was like I was talking to myself. I wasn't like, I was anxious, but I wasn't like fully having a panic attack. But if you read my messages, you would think I was massively freaking out because I'm like, okay, that's okay. Just Misha die. Because like it was crucially important to me that Jared died and Misha had to die. And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay, good. And like, actually, that felt better.
Mm-hmm.
That took some of the pressure off for me because I was like, okay, they both die. It's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But in the grand scheme of the story, I didn't like it. Like, if you take I liked seeing Jared, Jensen, and Misha act in this world, and they're all playing characters that are wildly different. And although the comedians weren't like my generation's comedians, and I didn't get a lot of the references, I appreciate that. And Jared's hero worship of Mr. Marathon's hero worship of Soldier Boy, I was hella good. Inspired some.
And it was
ideas.
nice seeing them together. Yeah, even if it was just one scene. Yeah,
it was. But in the whole scope of the show, like in the whole scope of the plot line, like I don't know about you, Sandra, but I walked away from that episode feeling like, you remember 4 fucking episodes from the end of season 15, and they did the stupid flashback, and I was like, why are we doing this? You don't have time to waste on this.
I totally get that feeling, but I also feel like they were running things through all of those scenes that for me, the character stuff in that episode for like Firecracker, Sage, Black Noir, like people that wouldn't have gotten, I think, a lot of like their time to kind of like shine in a moment. I mean, Firecrackers,
honestly,
that was just so much going on with Firecracker that I was like I will have to watch that episode again because I spent that episode so tense. Right.
Because like they made you wait for it to happen.
They made you wait for it. Yeah.
I remember that there was a Firecracker bit. I remember there was a Sage bit.
There was a terror bit. That was insane. I loved the terror bit. The terror bit was great. Yeah.
And the Homelander fuck doll. I'll remember that until my dying fucking day because the first time that Homelander, Anthony Starr, was acting, and I went, oh my God, Starr had to actually act this. Like, I will never purge that from my fucking mind. Like, what a goddamn champion. That is why I could never be an actor, because I just couldn't let go of my inhibitions that long.
It's definitely a bottle episode, but I think for bottle episodes, it was one of those that I thought I really liked. I was there for Firecracker's storyline. I was there for all of that. So I really liked it. It's almost like sometimes, when a show's getting really heavy and it just needs that breathing moment, like a lot of really heavy stuff still happened, but it was just, let's just spend some time with some of these characters. So I think they had to, I don't know, it was definitely one of those, why are we doing this? But then also like Drag Me Away From You. I hate that episode with a passion because of what they did in Supernatural. So many, like, you only have a handful of episodes, and this is what we're doing. I think when you talk about a show like The Boys, there's a lot of hit or miss that's going on, and they've got to up the ante or whatever. And I thought it was a fun episode. I thought it had a lot of fun moments and a lot of deep moments. And of course, Firecracker. I was kind of worried about you because I know you liked Firecracker. So I was like, well, she's going to get it in the end too. I said, there's going to be a couple things you're probably not going to like in this episode. So
I was very shocked.
Yeah.
At that ending. I was very shocked. And it was sad.
Yeah, it was.
But like like I said, it was lovely to see Jared and Misha playing outside, because I haven't seen Misha in anything, because I'm not that interested in Batman, so I didn't watch his Gotham Knights thing.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either. Yeah.
And I never finished Walker. I watched like 4 or 5 episodes of it.
I watched more of
that's
Walker
not a
than
lot.
Casey.
Yeah, Sandra watched more of Walker than I did. And every so often I think about going back to it and then I'm like, oh, I've got to fucking put up with them kids.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
Like maybe one day.
Yeah.
So this is like, I feel like I've watched Jared in something else though. I didn't watch Fire County. I am the worst Jared Padalecki fan. Like, no joke. I know everything he's done, but I don't.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I think we're all going to watch Guarding Stars together. We're going to make that a date.
Yeah,
we're going to
do that. We're going to do a Discord rewatch about that. Get in here, fools. Yeah, heck yeah. But so like, if we think like I haven't really watched Jared do anything since Supernatural, it was so good to see him, just not be Sam. And there wasn't an ounce of Sam in it. And like, to be fair, there wasn't an ounce of Sam in Walker either.
But it was still too close. I think we were still trying to like, get over a lot of.
We were still trying to let go of Supernatural, I think.
Yeah.
But it was like to see him just be like a little bit slimy and a little bit gross and just sad, And then like the fucking death was so good. Everybody has died so many different ways on The Boys, but then and this Soldier Boy, it was like almost like a video game of him just leading Jared, like Mr. Marathon around, but like put it like kind of fucking Tomb Raider, like move the blocks and shit, and just like kiting Mr. Marathon around. And then Sandra said to me, like, his death is really graphic, and I was like, I can do graphic, and she was like, best of luck. I couldn't. I was like, I was so high. Jensen started breaking bones
without finger stuff in front of my face. And when I saw that, I was like, I was just glad it wasn't Soldier Boy that did it. So it was like, it made sense. Like I was like, okay. I was like,
I was so ready for that. I was so ready for that.
No, I couldn't.
Jensen, Soldier Boy starts breaking limbs, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so good. And then I was so invested in that though. And Homelander's fucking foot comes down. I just went, oh. I didn't even rewind it because I was so shocked. I was like, oh. And then I think, like when you've been waiting, like it was like just going up the roller coaster, especially because I knew he died. I was going up and up and up and up and up and then stamp. And it was like we went down and I was like, oh, thank God it's over. Because I was like, I stopped worrying about what happened then.
Do you think our love and investment of like the show Supernatural and then by proxy the actors is what causes us so much anxiety when we go into what they're going to be doing next? Because I feel like that is a thing that I haven't had for like other actors before, because
I was so scared that Jared's character was going to be cringy in some way that I wouldn't be able to cope with. And I'd like just because it comes into my head because I watched it recently. Do you remember the episode in season 4 with Webweaver? Yeah. And then, so not, I mean, like all of Webweaver, but I'm kind of specifically talking about when the Vought has him locked up and Homelander and Firecracker go and, and he's just squirting all his webs out of his web hole. Like if Jared had played a character like that, I just wouldn't have been able to watch it. And I would have been so upset.
Well, because it's kind of like Rob Benedict as Prime, right? Like that was a pretty thing. Like once I saw that, I'm like, oh, Kripke doesn't give a fuck.
This is how Kripke's treating his people.
Are willing to go there. And I was like, I think that was a thing too. It's like, how much are we pushing the envelope just to push the envelope? Like, and I think
that's what I was. That's what I was worried about.
All of that together,
it was really great.
Even though you could have taken it out and just had somebody make mention of what they did in LA, to get to see it and see even how Soldier Boy was with Homelander, right? Like again, and I think they're leading you into that. Well, he's my asexual weirdo kind of a thing. And then
as an aside to that, though, like taking the whole Misha, because like Homelander wasn't really a part of it. So like taking the whole like Jared and Jensen reunited, Mr. Marathon's worship of Soldier Boy and stuff. I really liked that. I really liked that. But then when like in the wider scheme of the plot, when Soldier Boy was like, no, he's my asexual weirdo, I was so angry. I was so mad. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is happening? Are you flipping now? Because I like the whole season, I could not get a read on what Soldier Boy wanted or what he was doing even. And obviously that makes sense when you...
I don't think Soldier Boy knows. The one thing I did want to talk about before we get into the final episode was I really wanted to make a point of talking about A-Train's death.
That was beautiful.
In episode 1.
That was unexpected, but
I
so
thought
beautiful.
The most amazing character, like for a character arc and a death and a way they did that, I thought in just such a short amount, like, because you see it, I think it's not like hit you over the head, right? It was a slow process, how he changed and evolved. And like the fact that in that, and I love that they showed his, what happens to him. And I don't think they did this in any other season. They showed how he sees it in like how time is for him, kind of like the way we were talking about this, like the Flash or Quicksilver, right? Like stuff like that. Like I really liked those kinds of things that I've seen in other like shows or movies or whatever. So when I saw that when he was, I think, breaking them out, I thought that was an interesting thing. But the fact that they used that for his ending, that he got to make that split second decision, because then season 1, he had the chance to not do what he did with Robin. But the fact that in this ending of his, he made a decision that saved somebody else that eventually led to his death by Homelander was poetic. All of the things. Beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. Yeah. I thought it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. I will say, I praised, Amazon's special effects department and stuff. But Homelander flying was really shit. Homelander flying through the forest was really, really bad. I was struggling to watch that scene because I was like, that's
see, again, I wasn't really even paying attention to that. I was just paying attention to the fact that once that had happened, it was like, it didn't matter what else they did, like with the special effects and stuff. It's like the fact that it was all
go back and rewatch it. You'd be like, oh, no.
I still think I would have the same, like, I don't know, like that moment, that importance that he's making a decision that's going to lead to his death, but he's making the right choice. I thought was just gold star for A-Train. That was, I was so...
It was like a full coming of...
Yeah.
Can we just, before we get into this, for like 1 second, can we just talk about Sam Jackson, the shark? Because I love that so much.
I love that as well.
I was so happy about that. Like I was like, that's Sam Jackson. And my husband went, is it? And I rewound it and I was like, that is Samuel fucking Jackson.
Yeah, it was so weird because like I started hearing it and then it took me a few seconds and I started laughing and Ted's like, what? I'm like, you do not recognize the voice? I said, it's Samuel L. Jackson. It's snakes on a motherfucking plane. Samuel L. Jackson doing the thing. And it was just like, it was so great.
Interesting that is your point of reference for Sam Jackson.
Well, no, it's not. I like camp wise, like I think a lot of people go to that, but for me, it's Pulp Fiction, like Pulp Fiction first. I think for me,
Sandra's got the episode pulled up, and I'm starting to think maybe I should have had the episode pulled up.
I was just gonna say, like the first scene that opens, that starts it off, is of course they've buried Frenchie and Huey's.
That fucking eulogy.
Having seen everybody's assholes, I thought was very, very spot on.
That was
really great.
So Frenchie. That was so good. I know it's around that they see Kimiko, like the pebbles start to move like they did with Soldier Boy. And it was at that point that I was like, oh my God, it worked. Because I thought when Frenchie said to Homelander, we already did, I thought he was bluffing. I genuinely thought he was bluffing. I was like, how does he know it worked? They don't know. But then I was like, shit, it did.
I feel like he probably was bluffing. He was just hoping, that it had actually done what it needed to do. So it was interesting to see that little bit of a...
I like that, yeah.
It was a great Frenchie moment through Huey and how he was reading it, and Huey's delivery of it was great as well. And everybody's reaction I thought was great.
Can we also, like, just for a second, Jack Quaid gets accused of being a Nepo baby a lot, but the man has got
talented,
acting chops.
Though, yeah.
He's talented, yeah. Nobody else could have played Huey Campbell, like, fucking nobody, And he's still... we'll talk about it later. He's still, after all these years, and it's been like 7 real world years, but it's probably been longer than that in the timeline of the show, because there was a year between 4 and 5 at least. He still manages to have that wide-eyed, look at stuff Butcher does, and I'm like, oh my God, you're a baby.
Yeah.
That is another disagreement that me and Dreamer have. I am #Team Huey and she is #Team Starlight. And we both think that our Blorbo is the right, good, and correct one.
So during the after they see the little movement of the pebbles and stuff, it transitions over to, we see Ryan, in his safe cabin, safe space, and Homelander's dives in and they have a discussion, which is good because I think
I thought Homelander was going to just laser him in the face.
I thought so too, because there were a lot of moments when he goes right up to him and he's like, "Fuck you." I was like, "This is it." And I was like,
"This is it." He's going to laser him in the face.
And I think we were at the point too. This is another character where we're like, "Are we going to see is this another character where we're not going to have any? We're not going to see him again, right?" Is this going to be the last time we see him? But he stands up to him, and there's that moment.
I fucking love that kid as well. He is, and he does stuff later on as well.
He's grown a lot though. Because as a child actor, I think you really have seen him to the little teeny tiny tot. And I think at the end of season 1, it's a different actor, so he doesn't come in until season 2. But I feel that he's really grown into
His
that.
name is Cameron.
I
know that. Yeah, because I always think, I know that if I put them side by side, they wouldn't look a thing alike. But I always think the actor that plays Sam in Gen V and the actor who plays Ryan, in my mind, they look really similar. And I'm sure if I put them next to each other, I'd be like, no, they look nothing alike.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They just got that kind of the chiseled jaw and the floofy hair. And I'm like, oh my God, you're identical twins.
It's the foofy
But no,
hair.
the main guy that plays Ryan his name's Cameron.
Mm-hmm. So then the next scene turns into it's Jordan, it's Marie Moreau, Annie. So basically, these are all the people that they've saved from, I guess, the test or the focus group that they did. Yeah. So
Emma's there as well.
Emma's there. Emma has 2 lines. Which again,
but she changed her hair, so I didn't recognize it.
Changed her hair. So seeing them talk, because again, Marie Moreau's they kind of go never meet your heroes, and then Marie's like, well, I don't know, I'm glad I met mine, but Annie's also this is our fight, we have to finish this, we need you to do this thing and make sure these people get to safety. I was glad what else were they going to do, right? I was glad they wrapped it up. They could have just said something like you said, but it gives her a little bit of a moment. We get to see Emma, which I liked, because I was like, are we ever going to see anybody else, or is it just going to be Jordan and Marie? So at least we got Emma too in there, but she's always got great lines.
I love Emma. We riot for Emma.
She's like Soldier Boy almost. She just comes in and she just she could steal the show, like the scene. And then it's so I do love that. The actress, I think, does a great job with her. She gets that little bit of, well, there's hope for the future generation. Maybe the next ones are going to be okay too, and still wanting to protect them. So I thought it was good to have it there. I don't know, all the actors, I think I would love to see them in other stuff too. It's kind of one of those things when you see them, you're like, they've got something about them that I hope they do other stuff that really gives them a chance to shine. I was really proud of that little group of Gen V, cast. I thought they really did a good job. Next scene I'm watching is Oh Father and Ashley, which is kind of great because I kind of felt this was going to come back. This was going to be important. So it was a little, Ashley and Oh Father like to get kind of crazy in the bedroom. And so what is that thing called? Is it what's the thing in the mouth that goes in the mouth that?
Ball gag.
Ball gag. So Ashley gives him a special ball gag that won't break because, of course, he's got that ability to, with his voice, shatter things or, all this, I don't know, whatever it is. You probably know the sciencey term for it.
Supersonic, I think.
Supersonic.
That's usually the accepted superhero terminology. I actually also, small detail, I love Ashley. I love that Ashley made it through.
Mm-hmm. I
have loved her all the way through. And again, it not the same as the Deep, but in a similar way to the Deep, she's a problem. She is a problem. She's very, very much out for herself. But she girl bosses it so good. I love her. Just love her.
I think right now it's at the point where Bashley is and
I love that that's what they called back Ashley. I fucking love that. I watch with subtitles because I can't hear it if I can't see it. And every time it comes on, I'm like, fucking Bashley.
So she's giving her the silent treatment. So she's trying to read Father's mind and she can't. She doesn't know what's going on. So there, it's kind of like in this weird stage where I think made like an interesting couple. Like, they made it work. He's like,
they didn't seem unhappy together.
Yeah. They're like, even though it's arranged, he's like, you're the best arranged wife I could have asked for, or something like that. Ashley's an interesting character, but I did always root for her too. I'm like, you're so messed up. You've got so many issues, but I really hope that you make it to the end of this thing. Yeah. I don't know if you had any other like thoughts about that part. That scene in particular, or Father anyway.
I thought for like a last minute, shoo-in as it was. I thought he did a good job. I thought it was interesting.
I liked seeing that, and I know you did you like the musical number, or you were like not wanting the musical number? Was there no music in The Boys either, as opposed like no, there's no musical in Supernatural? Did you like that?
I didn't mind the music in The Boys because it made like
sense
musically appropriate. Like, yeah, it was like canonically plot line appropriate. Like the Vault on Ice, the Christmas song, and like Ryan and the Puppets.
Which I like that the same composer, Christopher Lenitz, for like Supernatural, he did all of that too. So my thing about what I liked about it was finding out that just like he had written all the songs for the fan fiction episode of Supernatural, he wrote that Raise Him Up song for Oh Father. And the actor, who I don't know his name, but I know he was in musicals. He was in Hamilton. So he had the chops for it. So they were really like, do you think he'll sing? Do you think he'll sing? And he was willing to sing the song and do like the dance number and all that. So I think it was fun to see all of that come together again. Like, somebody.
Yeah. And it made sense. So no, there is allowed to be singing in The Boys because it is plot appropriate singing. It's not just random break into song, which I suppose you could argue that fan fiction therein is plot appropriate singing because they don't just randomly break into song. It's all on stage, but it just upsets me. It's too cringe. I get too cringe.
The next scene is, Kimiko is at Frenchie's grave and Sage comes in and starts doing the thing. And I knew that's what she was doing when she was starting, was she was trying to rile.
Yeah. Trying to wind her up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, ouchie. Like, they were some vibes, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. She really was. She was just going for it, but she was going for it hard for a reason. And I really loved that. I think that's what she was hoping for. Like, I think it wasn't just to confirm it, but it was, once it happened, she was like, oh my God, I'm free from this.
Yeah.
Having to know everything all the time, the predictions, all of the stuff. And she really is fun when she's stupid. She's fun.
I really, again, for like I know she wasn't like a last minute kind of thing. She came in last season, but again, I thought she was such a great addition to the show. And that when you get to the end of 4 and Homelander's like, why would you do this? And she's like, to see if I could. Like, oh, yes, babe. Yes. I love it. And
how did you like her in Gen V? I know you weren't crazy. Sage?
Oh, shit. Yeah, she was fucking Godolkin, wasn't she?
Yeah. I mean, again, you had to know a little... the way you have to understand.
You had to have watched Gen V, yeah. The thing is, like, yeah, she was with Godolkin, but like she very clearly, like, he clearly crossed the line, and she was like, nope. So like, she can make bad choices. She felt deep, like she's allowed to make bad choices. I will allow bad choices.
Yeah, but so then the revelation is that Kimiko can do the thing,
can do the boom.
So now they're back in. I guess they're in the motel room. Huey's checking her out, saying, "Yep, we're all getting pretty irradiated right now."
With the Geiger counter.
And then, Sage is eating her Taco Bell, and they're just talking about what it is that they're going to do next, and they're all like deciding.
She's so happy.
Yeah,
that's the thing. She's so happy because her superpower was one of those, really. Like, I would imagine really taxing ones. Like, people expect so much of you. I can't be doing with that. No.
mhm.
And I'd like, she was so happy. And she was like, nope, I'm going. Like, I wish it would have been anything other than Harry Potter World.
Yeah, wands up.
Anything other.
Yeah.
Didn't really appreciate that.
Yeah,
But hopefully, Rowling
Yeah.
didn't get paid for the fucking, the reference. Fuck you, Joanne. You know, but like she was like, peace out, bitches. I'm going to Disney before I die. Like, I'm just going to imagine she said Disney. Not that that's better, but it's like a little bit better.
Yeah. So they're deciding they're going to use the underground tunnel to get into the White House and the Oval House, the fuck tunnel. Yeah. Yeah. So they're all like, you know, one last go, and everybody's like saying yes.
And she's like, nope.
I'm out. Like, I'm going to enjoy myself. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself.
But it's when she comes out onto the, because she just picks up a backpack and leaves. She's like, nope, good luck with that. See ya. But when she stands on the porch, on the deck, and you can tell she's so truly happy.
Yeah.
I love that for her. I fucking love that for her.
I mean,
she was caught up in everybody. Like, she didn't invite herself in. Homelander went and got her. Yeah. You know, Vought brought her to his attention.
Yeah.
She didn't want to involve herself with this. She just wanted to read her books and fucking this. And she got tangled up in all this, and now she's free. And do
you think it's almost, and I couldn't help but like trying to find supernatural parallels, but do you think almost to a little bit it was almost like the Metatron thing? Like, you know, wanting to be by yourself, wanting to do the things, then being brought in, and then getting that surge of like, oh, well, then I can use all of this to my advantage and do that. Like, I mean, I think
Kripke has some tropes.
He does.
He falls back on, and they're not bad tropes, and he does them well. But I think there's certain things you can tell that Kripke really has.
Oh yeah, I was clocking a lot of them.
I guess little brothers, the name Sam, mothers. Like, Kripke has the biggest mommy issues of anybody I've ever fucking seen.
There was a lot. Yeah, so Sage, so they're going to get ready to do their thing. Sage is off on her adventure. And then the next scene is, Father is with a billionaire that kind of just looks a lot like Elon Musk.
It was absolutely Musk. Absolutely. The hat, the children,
we believe in Homelander on
1,000% satirical Musk. And you know how it was Musk? Because Musk, like, quote tweeted something about the boys. Just quote tweeted it. Pathetic. And Kripke was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Best thing ever. I told Ted that. I'm like, oh, you'll get a kick out of this, babe. I'm like, Eric Kripke's really, really happy that this occurred. So it was like, it was great.
I mean, what an absolute glowing endorsement. Your satire was so on point that it annoyed the person you were satirizing. Like, bro, you nailed it.
Yeah, and basically, you know, Father's like, well, you know, we've got some billionaires, you know, they've got some sway. We've got to kind of we've got to listen. You know, we've got to listen to some of the things they might want. And
Homelander's like, no.
This is when I think the Deep comes in the middle of their talking about that. Like, you know, because Father's like, the ruling class of America, you know, to build your church, we need their support. Again,
and
very reminiscent.
Just eviscerates the Deep.
And yeah, it's just like, dude, I don't need you anymore. You're pathetic. You know, you're just like, what are you doing?
I've always hated you. You've always been pathetic. And it's just like, it's like that really, like, it's old now, but that Simpsons, look, you can pinpoint the moment, it's hard.
But like, my thing is, how, like, again, Deep is so stupid because how does it take this many times for him to understand or get the hint? And I don't think even then.
He's not a himbo because like canonically himbos have to be kind. So he's not a himbo because he's not kind. He's just a fucking dude, bro.
But he wasn't even at rock bottom then because I think he was still thinking, there's a way. I know there's a way. There's a way I can make him see me for what I really am and how loyal I am to him. So even after all that, he was still willing to take more of a beat down. Like it's almost, I was like, he had no bottom. I don't think the Deep did. I just don't think he did. Which is kind of interesting. I'm watching the scene now, and Father and Deep are talking, and now you see Homelander in the background shooting the billionaire off and back.
Schmeal on Schmusk.
And he's like, where did he go? He's like, he wanted to go to space.
I took him
to space. So, because he's like, I'm not dealing with this. He's like, I don't need anyone. I don't need billionaires. And he's like, and I don't need perverted fish fuckers who debase themselves endlessly for mere drops of my affection. Ouch.
God damn, right into the soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So,
really love that it was like a well-known secret, like an unkept secret that the deep like very much fucked fish. Like I remember watching season 1 and like obviously I'd gone back to watch it, so I'd seen season 3 and 4 of the octopus, but they just like flirt with it when he's like when he's talking about
is it the
dolphins
dolphin?
and blowholes.
Yeah.
Talking about dolphins fucking. Somebody's talking about dolphins fucking in blowholes. And then when he's driving with the dolphin, he rescues, and he's like, "If I touch it, will you shut up?" And it's just a little dip that he knew fucked a fish. I love it.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So anyway, they're talking. Homelander's talking to a father. I think he's going to get ready to take off again. Deep is looking very, very, very sad and like he's about ready to cry. Big baby. So there's a countdown to when Homelander's going to be on TV. The boys are getting themselves ready at the back of the van. They're getting suited up. They're getting all of their weapons. Oh, Huey's got a little moment with Kimiko, just like, you're not just a weapon, which I thought was really sweet. That Frenchie saw who you were. I thought that was because she's dealing with a lot of shit right now. And the fact that she wasn't, she stopped talking again. She was really getting back into herself and she was just isolating, I think, and just being like, I've got to be that thing that I was made, to complete this mission kind of a thing. And what's the point for anything else? But now Homelander's getting ready. He's in the Oval Office. Ashley's watching. She's still trying to get Bashley to talk to her. And it's not happening. And then one of the security is like, there's somebody in the halls. Oh, father already knows who it is.
He absolutely fucks her over.
Yeah, so he was already prepared for that. So Homelander's he's starting off with a speech, and then that's when Ashley's going to start to get whisked away. Did you have any thoughts about the speech in particular?
Not massively. I liked that they played it that he was tripping up over stuff and there was stuff he couldn't say because like it was all fake. I was here for that.
And I know they're showing the people watching him like as he's addressing the nation.
With the sidekicks with the seat dude. That's
like
creepy.
pressing it. Mm-hmm. So now the boys are back in the fuck tunnel.
How?
Let's see. Oh, Huey's like, oh yeah, smells exactly how I thought.
Like I thought a fuck tunnel would smell.
That was a really good one. And then they're back to Homelander reading off of the teleprompter. The boys all of a sudden notice, oh, there's a door here that wasn't here before.
There wasn't a door here before, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to say, I can't take credit for that Ashley grows a spine. That's from one of our Discord users, Sam and Dean 76. Sal, she said that, and I completely agree with her.
She looks so scared, and she's like, oh, fuck this, Ashley. Go ahead, come on, do the thing. And so she's running down the hall. She's not sure where she needs to go. The boys are not only they're getting shot at, right? There's the sonic stuff they get
locked into. There's a door that wasn't there before, and they go through the door, and there's a like closed door that they can't open on the other side. And when they're all in, the door behind them shuts, and they have like the soup siren, I guess, because superheroes have keener hearing than we do. And then once they're all kind of like screaming and covering their ears, then they start getting shot at. Yeah. And she comes and opens the door they couldn't get through.
But that's because Bashley finally tells her which way she needs to go. So she's like, thank God, finally. And so then she says something great. You gonna flick your clits all day? Get out of here.
She's so good. # we stand Ashley.
So yeah, as soon as she kind of lets them out, she's like, okay, I'm fucking out of here now. I've done my due diligence.
Yeah, I've done my bit.
You go this way. Y'all. Good luck. And then, but yeah, they're kind of a little, they're worse for the wear. So I'm assuming too, this is one of the reasons why Kimiko maybe like, as we get into the next, like, the showdown, she's not really like 100%, or she's like, I think that's one of the reasons too, why she like can't get herself up to, there's multiple reasons, but one of them too is she's wounded.
She goes through some shit. Yeah.
So then they're heading down the hallway. Ashley's telling them which way to go. And then she's deciding she's going to go in another direction. She's going to get out of you. Ashley says, proud of you, bitch. And then she's happy. She's like, let me get out of here.
Obviously, it wasn't out of the norm for the TV show that we're thinking of, but like you know, not only was Ashley #girlboss in her job, she was also like, you know, a dom, ME. And like, I'm here for that, you know. Let's have more female representation in these male-dominated industries.
Yeah, because she had fun with
the Cameron Coleman, the news person, and then also Tech Knight.
Yeah.
Poor Huey. Ashley was so.
Oh yeah,
mean.
and even the director, like she was pretty like on like in the
God, yeah,
in the bathroom too.
You're a shitty director. We have to get Joss Whedon to rewrite all your bits. And then that comes up again in Gen V, where he's like, "You let me in, or I'm going to tell everybody what we did at the children's fucking. I think it might have been children's cancer charity fundraiser."
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Isn't it crazy that we don't just, these things don't stick in our mind because this show is just so
there's so
outrageous
much
that you're like, oh my God, yeah, that happened.
Plus, yeah, the ante just keeps going up and up and up. It's just like, you know, when you talk about Soldier Boy, like everything that came out of his mouth was like, oh my God, like, you know, I mean, I don't think there was even like
so
one
funny though,
one line that you're just like,
he's
really
weird, and I've had a threesome with Gary Busey. I really liked his post-sex conversations with
Did you not?
That was so good. And then she carried on and he was like, okay, so you didn't.
Okay, so you didn't.
Right? That was so good. But also, you know, very clearly like who he is a misogynistic prick who's like, did you not? Well, sounds like a you problem, bitch.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I loved it.
So the boys are in the room. They come across the deep, and this is when he's like,
where he's a little tragic. He's like, I knew it. It was a test.
Like, I can do it. It's a test. I could take care of the thing. And then Annie's like,
he's a horrible person.
Annie's
that
like,
is
I'll
like
take care of
Annie, Billy Badass Annie there, like fucking fully for that. Yeah,
I love that. I love seeing her just taking him, and it was just shooting across. Yeah, I was like, I am like.
I wouldn't say well. I it has been said that I have a hate on for Starlight. Those words have been used, and I have agreed with them. But I think she kind of comes into her own a little bit towards the back end of this season. I think she made some really fucking questionable decisions at the start of the season that were really selfish. So I'm gleefully anticipating the enthusiastic debate I will be having when we get to those. But I do think I really like this showdown with the Deep. Obviously, he didn't make all of the bad things happen to her, but he started
everything on that train wreck of a situation. Yeah. Like, you know,
she gets it back.
Yeah. So
I love that.
Once Annie takes off with the Deep, then the boys get interrupted by Oh Father, and Huey. Oh Father's basically like, you know, give me Butcher and the girl. You guys can leave.
Huey does that fucking accent.
Huey, he shoots
the fire extinguisher.
Shoots the fire extinguisher, and then there's all this like foggy stuff, and then Mother's Milk, and Huey leave. But yeah, he does an imitation of Butcher to like make Oh Father follow them so that Butcher and Kimiko can go and see Homelander and figure that stuff out. That was really good. I love that. That was a really good one.
To quote our favorite William, he's fucking diabolical. That was appalling. That was absolutely appalling. And I loved it all the more. I loved it all the more for how just horrifically bad it was.
So now Annie and the Deep are on the beach, and as soon as I saw they were on the beach, I was like, yes. I was like, throw him into
your
the
showdown,
ocean.
Bitch. Yeah, you're getting yours.
So, you know, he's going all about, you know, it was a top 50 star meter on IMDb Pro, and like, I lost everything because of you. And, you know, she's like, you made those choices. You ruined your own life. You're not a fucking baby. For once, take some responsibility for yourself. But no, that's not going to happen. He's going to fight about it. It's like, no.
It can never be him. It can never, nothing bad. It's always these bitch women.
Yeah.
You know, he is the ultimate fucking alpha male dude, bro.
So then, fuck yourself. This is when Mother's Milk, it all comes back. All these things over the seasons. It's so perfect. So MM and Huey are in another room, and obviously they're in Ashley and O'Father's like wing or wherever the hell they're at in the building. And
well, it's the presidential wing, isn't it?
Is it the presidential suite?
Well, she's president now.
Okay,
Someone
so
blew up the president the other day.
I forgot for a second. Yes, okay, so not the vice president, she's the president.
That's it. This is the kind of show where you forget that the president got exploded last week.
Yeah, got exploded. So you don't see what MM is seeing, but you see him looking at it. He's going, what the fuck? And of course, like, you kind of know what it is, right? So O'Father comes in, he's getting ready to deal with Huey, and then all of a sudden, MM ball gag
slaps the ball gag on, and then he explodes.
He explodes his head because of his supersonic stuff was withheld.
Well, here's my question, though.
Yes.
Here's my question, though. We know through the course of the episode that O'Father has turned on Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
But do you reckon she bought that truly out of a
do you think she thought he was going to kill him?
Yeah, do you think she knew that it would kill him? Do you think she was secretly like, oh, I'm going to fuck him and then he'll explode?
Well,
or do you think she was like, no, this is for play. We love this.
I don't think he would have had that type of like major reaction to whatever they were doing. Like whatever he was doing right then and there was to kill someone. So I'm kind of feeling that
maybe he wouldn't have been
expectation was he wouldn't have been at that level to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
So that was my thinking on it. Like I think that was a happy accident.
My thoughts was that Ashley didn't know that he turned on her until he told the Secret Service people to take her away, and she was like, "Oh shit."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I suppose if they weren't planning on playing at that power level,
it could have been a possibility. Maybe, you never know. Yeah,
we will not rule out the possibility that Ashley was also planning to kill O'Father.
Homelander's back to talking on the teleprompter, but then he sees something that says, "For I am your father," and that just sets him off. And he just
loses every bit of plot that he had left, which, to be honest, weren't a lot.
Yeah, it's on camera. People are seeing him. Just his switch has been flipped. It's not getting switched back. And they show Ryan seeing this on his TV in his safe space. But then, big old explosion into the Oval Office. Butcher comes in. What does he say? I can't. Evening cunts.
Something like that.
Daddy's home. Yeah. And then, so then now everything.
I can fix him, you guys. You don't even know.
Apparently, Kasey can fix a lot of people on this show. Kasey can fix a lot of them.
I want to specify, because this has come up in different situations. I'm 1,000% doing a bit. When I say I can fix him about Soldier Boy or Billy Butcher, they are irredeemably fucked men, and I am doing a bit. I would not want to be alone ever with either of them. They are scary. But I just want to make that clear. I don't want people to be like, "Oh my god, they're a serial killer apologist." I'm not. I'm just doing a bit. But also, oh god, Billy Butcher does things to me, you guys.
So then Kimiko comes in.
I'd like to imagine that I'm the only one that he would be soft and sweet with, and he totally wouldn't fuck me over at the first
Absolutely. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. So then they both start to attack Homelander. Butcher uses his funky tentacles thing, but Homelander just zaps him away.
I thought that was interesting because we've never seen the tentacles be attacked.
Yeah,
but Billy was like, you see him react with pain.
Yeah, because I've seen them be like pulled and stuff. I believe like in one thing, but like not like break off or stuff. So Kimiko and Butcher are going after him. Then they're going back and forth to Annie and the Deep on the beach. So they're having a big old battle. And then I think this is when finally I think Annie just like uses her powers and just like shoots him. She just yeets him into the ocean. I was like, yes. And Ted and I were like, I was like, oh, I said, are they going to do a Jaws thing? Please do a Jaws thing. They really need to do a Jaws thing. And yep, you see all the fins start to just come out and they start going justice for Ambrosius.
Oh, it was so good. I think Sam Jackson Shark's there as well.
Is he? Maybe. I don't know. But then you see like the big old tentacle thing happening too and wrapping him up. Yeah.
I did say to my husband though, I was like, no, you're letting him get off too easy. No. Because like it's relatively quick. They give him a minute to ponder what is happening.
Yeah.
And that he's, irreversibly fucked.
Well, I think at that
it's
point,
over.
Yeah. Then it's just done. But I think it was worth it. I think and you don't know what they were going to do with the body once they brought the body down either. So, even though he's not there for it, you don't know what they're going to do with it. So
it was just very, very poetic, you know,
Mhm.
that like he'd been lying and all that shit, and he
Yeah.
got his comeuppance. So
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
doesn't it suck to suck, Kevin?
So then they're going back and forth again. Now they're back with Homelander, Butcher. Kimiko keeps trying, isn't getting like a clear shot,
She
isn't
can't.
able
She
to
can't
charge
get
up.
it up. Bless her. I called this when we were watching with my husband. I was
Uh-huh.
like, she's gonna get all three of them. Oh no, we're not quite there yet. But I
No.
knew that was what was gonna happen.
Mhm.
I was like, she's gonna get all three of them.
I loved it when Ryan came in, and it was just like a quick
Yeah,
nod
Ryan just
to Butcher. He was like, finally, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so good. I mean, I was like, I didn't want him to die, but I was also like, this needed to happen. Everybody kept saying, like, you know, Ryan needs to have this showdown with Homelander, and the fact that it was him, Homelander, and Butcher. Again, it would have lost something, like you said, if Soldier Boy was in there in the middle of it, right?
You
Like,
just
it just
didn't
wouldn't
have.
You didn't
There
need
wasn't.
it. Yeah.
You didn't need to be there. There's history between
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
We needed to see.
And I think it's kind of good, like, too. He rips his cape. I think that's important for Ryan
that was
to
so
do.
good. Yeah. You're
And
wearing
then
a fucking cape.
Butcher keeps going, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? To Kimiko, and she's just not able to do it. But then all of a
Can't get it up,
sudden,
bless her.
it stops.
Oh, that broke my heart.
Broke my heart too. I was like, oh, he's coming. And I was really worried that meant she was going to die, right? Like, I was like, is this going to be the moment that she's spending too much time on this and she gets taken out? Like, I was really kind of worried about that for her. But, you know, Frenchie's like, what's the matter? She's like, I can't do it. And he's like, why not? And she's like, the rage I'm supposed to feel. And I knew what she was going to say. She was going to say, it's not there because I'm just so sad. And I'm just like, oh, poor baby girl. I think she's like, she's really up there for one of my favorite characters. She really is.
Hands down. From the moment that we saw her as well, I was like,
Yeah.
this girl.
And Frenchie's like, you know, rage is not what makes you strong, you know? And yeah, it's just so sweet. He's like, it's
so
never
beautiful.
been. And it's just like, it has always been yours. I was just like, oh, you sweet man.
Please, I love him. Daddy, I love him. God. But yeah, no. I knew when Ryan came in and the fight carried on, and then Frenchie and I was like, she's gonna get all of them. I was like, and Butcher's gonna kill Homelander, and then he's gonna die.
And it's
because like everyone seems to have conveniently forgot that Butcher was supposed to have terminal cancer. Everybody just seems to have forgotten that. I don't know if he took he said he took V and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But then he had the tentacle, so he must have taken some kind of V. I don't know. It wasn't adequately explained. But I still assumed that the whole Butcher's dying of cancer thing was going to be relevant.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ryan's going to go and live a normal life, power free. Butcher's going to kill Homelander, and then Butcher's going to die. Like this was how I saw it going down, but I always knew Kimiko was going to get all three of them in the blast.
I also like, though, that they really made it similar to the fight in Herogasm, where Soldier Boy was trying to hold him down, Butcher was trying to hold him down. They needed Huey to hold him down, but it was just Butcher and Ryan were able to hold him long enough for Kimiko to do.
And that was very, you know, Butcher, his revenge for Becca, and also Ryan, his revenge for his mom. It was very, I don't know what the fuck happened to my accent then. His mom. Sometimes I forget where I'm from, guys. It was like a lot of this episode was very symbolic and drawing a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
To the rest of the show, but I did think that was, you know, in a kind of like it could only ever have been them, kind of way, which I really liked.
So Homelander's getting up and he's realizing he doesn't have his power. So,
oh God, this was so funny.
This scene
was so funny.
I'm hearing a lot of people were like disappointed by this, and I'm like, why? Like, this
what did you expect him to do?
Like, did you expect him to be anything else but what he was without his power?
But fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
Like he was always gonna, like, you know, not to quote Supernatural, but it was always gonna end here. They weren't in Detroit, but it was always gonna end there.
But this gave me so much Supernatural Chuck vibes at the end, episode 19. This part, his sniveling, all of the things when the power went away. I was just like, here we go. I'm like, you know, how much is he going to whine and like, want to be, well, this one didn't want to get killed, like, right, but like God was like, oh, to be killed, at the hands of Dean Winchester. But like this one was just so, this is what I want to happen in real life, in reality, for a certain someone. I would love to see this.
Shall remain nameless.
Would love to see this, because I know that's exactly what that person is inside, right? Like you want to see that. And they went hard with him. And I was just like, oh, he's just going to keep going. He's going to offer everything, anything, and anything he can.
The dick sucking was
eating shit. Just all the things. I was just like,
everything. Wow. He was like, yeah, you always knew he was going to cry like a baby.
But to
like
see
Maeve called it back in 3. She was like, I'm looking forward to the day. It'll be the worst day of your life. Because it was always going to be that, wasn't it? He was nobody without his powers.
Yeah.
But
to
really
see that, to give them really that chance. I mean, and it didn't have to go on forever. And then for Butcher, like first, like when he was beating him, he was like, "This is for Frenchie." He's like, "This is for my Becca," and then it was like,
and then just bang, fuck yes,
just cracked him like a melon, just opened him up, and it was just like
that was so great though, because I was like, that was when I was like, see, look, he's a man with a plan and conviction.
So the one thing I will say, this is why Butcher does, I don't really like him as a character, because he was so wrapped up in what was going on with Homelander that he didn't even bat an eye about what was going on with Ryan. He didn't even look in Ryan's direction.
Yeah,
not a thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He didn't look for Kimiko. He didn't look for MM. He didn't look for anybody, because that's
And I get it.
Always all about.
But I don't like him for that reason.
Well, that's it. He's not supposed to be like none of these characters are supposed to be redeemable, and I really like that, because it really showed you that like anybody and everybody was cannon fodder to get him to this moment, and he didn't care. And he didn't look around for them afterwards, even after it was done.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Didn't look.
No, MM was the one that went over to see Ryan to make sure Ryan was okay.
And who went to Kimiko? Somebody came in. I think it was Huey.
It was Annie and Huey and MM. They'd come in and they like picked her up.
Yeah, and they pick her up, and MM goes to Ryan. But that's it. It was always it was never about anything other than this revenge quest that he was on, and he didn't care who was left in the wake of it. And even when it was over, there was nothing left for him. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
and it was like, and I commented to my husband. I was like, it's done it. He's done it. But look what it's cost him. Even then, I mean, I still thought he was going to die. To be fair, like he's done it, but of cancer, of his, plot convenient cancer that he may or may not have.
Yeah. So at this point, it's like, you're expecting like the wrap up, right? Like all of this stuff to start to happen.
But there's so much of the episode. There's so much episode left.
There's so much episode left. So then Ashley gets impeached.
Ashley's like, I will not resign. Homelander was a problem, and there's people on my orders, and I know I will not be resigning. And then it's like the president has been been dismissed. And I said to my husband, I was like, oh my God, to live in a world where democracy works.
I feel like she's going to spend time in a really nice, cushy prison, so I think she's going to be okay. I think she's probably going to be
fine.
Right.
We're not worried about Ashley.
No, we're not worried about Ashley. It was, but it was kind of like it needed to happen. So it was like, but it was great to see her.
Yeah,
again.
Ashley was not coming out of this well.
No.
At any point.
No. So they're all back together again. The boys they're outside. Ryan's inside watching the news stuff about Ashley. Passing around cigars. He goes like, yeah, it tastes like dirty cock. Is this so rich men can taste dirty cock? So Butcher I think gets ready to have that discussion with Ryan about,
this is so good.
It is really good, because I was so glad it didn't go let's make a life together. Yeah.
That's when I realized that the cancer really was plot convenient.
Well, Well, my thing too is like, what's to say that the cancer wasn't still like, all inside of him too, and the blast just kind of cured whatever, like maybe everything, even whatever might have been
Well,
alien.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, but I just, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, we can put all this behind us now.
I think your mum would have wanted that, and Ryan's like, no, I don't give a shit. Fuck no, you're a lunatic.
Yeah. And he's like, I know my dad was a bad person. He's like, but it doesn't excuse or erase the fact that, you're not a good person either. You are also
a bad person.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking yes, Ryan, my justice boner.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he wants to find himself too. This is kind of where I think if we talk about archetypes and people that Kripke likes to write into, I almost feel like Butcher could be that John Winchester, in a way.
Yeah,
in the story,
absolutely. The ends justify whatever means, and it doesn't matter who gets hurt on the way. Yeah, absolutely.
That almost like I kind of wonder, like if John Winchester hadn't died, right? Like, would he have been like, oh, everything's good now, let's try to put the pieces back together again? And I could see Sam being like, no.
Yeah,
and Dean
absolutely.
Dean unfortunately wouldn't have had enough therapy yet to get beyond that, but there still would have been friction. But I think he would have at least maybe gone with Sam, maybe at some point.
I think he would have gone with Sam the second time when Sam, if that had happened and John had been like, let's just chill, we did it, like we can be a family again, and Sam was like, no, the fuck we can't. I think Dean would have gone with Sam the second time.
I hope so. So now this is where we get choices,
Dean Winchester.
Now we get another sad moment where Bush is like, well, okay, I don't have Ryan, but I have Terror.
I knew as soon as we saw the way that Tara was lying, I was like, if that dog's dead, I'm gonna riot, but I know he is.
Did you know the real dog died?
No.
Yes. Alexander, I think they called him Alexander Bentley. He actually,
I knew it was Bentley.
He died like right before the final episode too.
Oh.
I think so. I think I saw that. So, but people, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I think I pretty much saw that. Now I've got to look that up. But anyway, so Butcher doesn't have anything else, but guess what he still has? Guess what he held on to? Guess what Butcher's got? What's Butcher got?
Still got the virus.
Still got the virus.
And then when he sits down and just pets Terra.
Mm-hmm.
And he just gets this dark smirk on his face. And you're like, oh shit, it's not over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over.
Yeah. Yeah, Bentley Alexander, the 11-year-old bulldog, passed away.
That's a fucking good age for a bulldog.
Yeah. So, Huey gets his little Huey Campbell sense up. Like, where's Butcher? What's going on? Goes and checks on him. Doesn't find him. Sees Terror.
Who Butcher has covered with his coat. All big stretchy.
She's an empty vial. And so he's like, oh shit. What's going on?
And realistically, he should have gone back to the rest of the crew and been like, Butcher is on some bullshit again. But he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. And this is where, too, I wonder, I mean, this show does start with Huey, right? Like, it starts around Huey.
Again, this is how it had to end this way. It had to be, it's Butcher that drags Huey into this whole thing.
So I almost wonder if this is like, this Huey was like, it was the hero's journey in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for Huey in all of this. So he sees...
He said big stretch to the cat who was doing a big stretch, and he took that as please come love ma'am.
Oh, okay.
And he was having a nice little lie down. And now he's got up to come love me. Hello, Papa.
Give him loves. You can give him loves.
I'm giving him loves. I don't need permission to love on my
So,
so
Huey sees the van and he follows him back.
Runs after it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, because that's gonna work, Huey. You can absolutely keep pace with that van." And then the next scene, he walks in, and I was like, "Well, damn, he could have kept. He did keep pace with that van. Fuck."
So he ends up there at they're at the vault tower.
In the vault meeting room with the table.
Mm-hmm. With the seven, where the seven usually conducts all of their very important meetings, very important things that they talk about. So he walks in. This kind of has a feel. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw Fight Club. It kind of had that feeling. The end scene where like he's overlooking the city and stuff. But I don't know. I got a vibe like that. But
no, I can see where you're at. Yeah.
Huey does the thing where he's like, "What are you up to?" And he's like, "Well, I've got the virus in the sprinkler system." I'm going to push the trigger, wait for the soups to show up, and release the virus.
No, Huey's like, I thought you already would have pushed it, and he's like, well, there's no point.
Yeah, waiting for them to show up.
Setting off an empty building. I'm going to wait until they, they're all clocking for the morning shift.
Yeah. So,
which is objectively not a bad plan.
So my thing is, does Kimiko still have her powers, or did her powers get exhausted too? Do they ever say?
They don't say, but Soldier Boy could use his more than once, because it was not a compound V power, it was a radiation power. So although it probably only works on someone who has V in their blood. But I just
wasn't sure, because since since they were so close and they got it, I was like, did it bounce? I wasn't sure if it did anything, because I don't think they ever really say. I don't think you get a confirmation, yay or nay.
No, I don't think you get an answer to that.
So they're having their discussion, and like you were saying, Butcher can't leave it alone. He's just going to keep going.
I just want to say, I think he had the right idea. I'm just going to go out there and say, I think he had the right idea. And like, I was proved right by the ending of the episode, because who steps back up? Well, Stan Edgar steps back up and starts talking about shareholders and money and stuff like that. And I'm like, Butcher was talking about committing genocide, which is never, that's never correct. Like, that is not a thing that we do. But he was right in the fact that while ever there is Compound V, there will always be soups, and there will always be a Homelander. Like, have you seen the Avengers, I think it's just called Avengers, but Avengers Assemble, the first Avengers movie, when they all come together against Loki, and Loki's in a I'm not sure where he is, it's somewhere in Europe, and he says like he's getting the crowd to kneel, and the old man stands and he goes, I won't kneel to men like you. And Loki goes, there are no men like me. And he goes, there are always men like you. And that's kind of, there will always be another fanatic like Homelander. There will always be another. You give people this power, and if it was born, maybe it would be different. But it's made, it's engineered, and there will always be people that can't handle it. That's just fucking, that is just the way it is. Some people shouldn't be allowed to turn on the fucking hot tap. Never mind have earth-changing superpowers.
Huey comes in though, but he's kind of like, basically, what we've been experiencing with them, I think, as their relationship too, where I think he makes the comment of, I'm your canary, I'm the one that's supposed to help, maybe, pull you back. Yeah. But, and he's trying to talk to him and reason with him, and said, you don't have to do the thing. He says something like, you might have a broken heart, but you still have one. And he says, you're not a monster, Butcher.
Very, very emotional.
It just hurts to be human.
Especially when we're coming off the last episode, when Butcher and Huey are captured by one of the psychics, and we get that lovely appearance from JDM again, who drops all the lore about Butcher, and, he's you would call it antisocial personality disorder nowadays, but, more commonly known as psychopathy or sociopathy. That there's nothing there to appeal to. He's a man on a mission. And I feel like Butcher really reinforces that when he gets free and says to the psychic, I'm going to enjoy this, but then again, I enjoy them all.
I mean, do you think too, like Becca was I'm guessing, right? Like Becca was the only thing that broke through?
I think she did. There was a obviously this is different from the comics, but if you want more lore on the characters, the comics are the place to go. But there was an Amazon X-ray like trivia on, I can't even fucking remember what season it is now. It's where Billy goes and starts a bar fight and gets the shit kicked out of him, and it says, I think it's after he's fallen out with the boys or something like that. And the Amazon trivia says that like this is a callback to what Billy would do before he met Becca, when things got like too hard. He would just go start a fight to be able to get out the aggression. Again, I think it's telling when we look back at Becca, and she's like, look at what I did. This happened to me, and I didn't come to you because I knew that you couldn't handle it. You know, you scared me. I knew that you would not be able to cope with this. So it's, yeah.
So
thinking about it again.
Butcher's pretty much like, you're not going to pull the trigger because, of course, like,
Yeah, they fight. Yeah, it's really cute because Huey pulls a gun and then Butcher just disarms him so quickly. Like it's literally like that. You know when Joe catches the boys in the roadhouse and Dean like goads her and like turns around and swipes the gun out of her hand and she just fucking punches him and gets back. So great.
He gets a couple good punches in. It's pretty impressive. He does a little bit.
It's a good fight.
Yeah.
It is a good fight.
And then I think it's when
he starts monologuing, and that's when Hugh gets him.
Yeah. Well, is it when does he start monologuing? Or is he just continuing to beat him up? Or does he
he's monologuing about how it takes balls to pull the trigger on a friend, and Huey's not that person, and yada yada yada, and then just bang bang.
So then so everything slows down. Butcher has again that moment, kind of like what Kimiko did, right? Butcher sees Lenny in place of Huey, and then you see the flare of gunshots. So he's just about to pull the trigger to set off the smoke alarms or whatever he's going to do for the sprinklers, and then Huey shoots him. Yeah.
And somebody in our Discord, who I won't name because they didn't give us permission to sort of say who they were, but they said that slowdown with Butcher really reminded them of Samatha in Swan Song, when it's the Impala and the stuff in the Impala,
and something connects him,
brings him back.
Yeah.
It's all very gut wrenching, you guys. We're all very sad.
And Butcher's like, you did what you had to do. I wasn't going to stop.
It's a really emotional scene. And I was crying.
I felt like it was earned. I didn't cry for Butcher the way I cried like, I mean, Frenchie I was a mess with. But I didn't really, I was kind of like, nope, this makes sense. This has to happen. It has to happen this way.
I don't know if I was crying for Butcher or I was crying for Huey, because like, I don't know, you don't come back from stuff like that.
No.
I might have been crying for Huey.
That makes sense. You really are the spitting of Lenny. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was crying for Butcher because he goes, I don't know what to do. Huey says, you don't have to do anything. So that's very indicative of Butcher as a person, that if he doesn't have a task or a goal or something, he's lost.
Like you said, if he can't just put the brakes on, right? He can't just stop. Yeah. He's got to have a mission.
He's got to have something, yeah. He can't stop himself. There's always going to be something else that compels him. I think I cried for both of them.
Next scene, of course, they're at Butcher's grave, saying goodbye. And I mean, it's Huey, Annie, Kimiko, Mother's Milk, Ryan. Yeah, so it's just like they're there, and then you knew they were going to break up. Like, it's just like they're done. The boys are done. So Kimiko's the first one to say bye.
Yeah, and there's no, she ain't agonizing about that. She's like, well, see ya.
Bye. She's bye. And then it's MM and it's Ryan.
It's Ryan.
Yeah, which is very sweet and it makes complete sense. But Ryan does say that, he's buried next to his mother, which is where he knows he would want to be. So
that's where Butcher would want to be.
Yeah.
That's very touching.
Yeah, it is. You can understand what other people need, and you don't take it on yourself to fix it, right? I think Ryan's kind of realizing that he can still figure himself out, and he didn't have to be there for Butcher, and it was okay. I think that was nice. That was nice. MM says goodbye to Annie, says goodbye to Huey. They go off, and I think, Annie and Huey are gonna make a go of it. they're going to Reno first, apparently, to a topless
To the
steakhouse.
titty bar! To the titty bar!
And then they do that nice little montage. But I mean, the gravestone of Butchers is pretty cute too, because they just show the top at first, and then they show
and you're
at the
like,
bottom.
oh, that's nice.
And then like at
I
the
think
bottom.
it says like William Butcher, loving husband, and you're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and then they drop
at the
down.
bottom it says, oh, you fuck off, you cunt, something like that, and you're like, yes,
Yes,
there
it
he
does.
is.
Yes, it does. Oi, fuck off, you cunts. Yes, it does. So then they do a little montage, which I always kind of like these. I think this one was done really nicely too, where they kind of like show how everybody's just moving on.
I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you right
Is it the
now.
music? Is it the music?
It's not the music. Why, is
Okay.
the music relevant?
No,
What's
it's
the music?
piano. It's Piano Man by Billy Joel. So you know.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
No, it's not. It's not the music.
Okay.
It's Like, I'll tell you what, I've really lost it. And I can't even remember if it comes first. It's when it's Kimiko sitting in the cafe in Marseille, and she got there.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Frenchie had that dream. Like every time
They would
they were
say
like,
where
we'll
they
go-
were
no,
going.
we're gonna go to Marseille. We're gonna get a little house on the beach,
Mhm.
and we're gonna do this. And then she'd adopted the dog.
Yeah. It's like a
And I was the
Bernadoodle or
best.
whatever they kept talking about.
Bernadoodle.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, she adopted the dog. And then it panned up, and I was like, and she's
in
in
Marseille.
Marseille, and she's eating the little
Madeleines,
Marianne's,
right?
I think they're called
Yeah.
Madeleines. Yeah.
Mhm.
But the Frenchie had made for it. I was like,
It's very cute. Very cute. Right
It was a
before
mess.
that, they do show MM getting back together with his wife, having a little
And then I
ceremony.
think they're renewing their vow. Oh no, they
Yeah.
fully divorced. So they're getting remarried, aren't they?
They're getting remarried because she was married to
Yeah.
that other weirdo. So, or
Todd.
she might have been getting ready to get married. I don't know. Whatever it was.
I don't think they were fully married, but yeah,
Mhm.
I had forgotten that she'd fully served him with divorce
Yeah.
papers and was like,
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah, but you see
So
his
they're getting married,
daughter.
and Janine's there, and Ryan's there, and
Ryan's
it's so
there.
beautiful.
And then you see Huey walking down the street. He gets a phone call, and it's from the president, Bob Singer. And I was so happy that Bob Singer made it.
You know what? I was so happy for you because like a couple,
we had a
maybe the day
conversation
before.
Mhm.
We'd been talking about it, and she was like, Tandra said to me, she was like, I wonder what happened to Bob Singer. And I just, like, not even thinking about it, I was like, I think he's dead. And she didn't answer me. I got not a boomer. I got a Gen X, emoji. And I was like, oh no, I've upset her. And so when I was watching, I was like,
hoping he was just being stored somewhere. So he's back in office. He's president.
I was so happy.
He calls up Huey because he needs somebody. They're opening up the super fairs again because Stan Edgar and all his bullshit. They're getting the team back together, and so he's like, I need somebody to run it. Are you interested? And Huey's like, yeah, no, thank you, sir. I'm doing my own
Huey's
thing.
like, that is a lovely offer, but no.
But I'm doing my own thing, and so Bob Singer's like, well, you
Bob
just let me
Singer
know
is incredulous. Like, beg your fucking pardon.
if you change your mind, I'm here.
Yeah.
But it's Huey's opened up an AV store, Campbell's Audio Visual, and he walks in,
Cute.
and as soon as he put the ginger beer down, I'm like, she's pregnant.
Yeah, and as soon as he went ginger ale, I was like, and then it was ginger something and then saltines, but I'd already clocked it. But I turned to my husband and I was like, she's pregnant. I knew it as soon as he started pulling ginger ale out.
Yeah. It was so cute. And I was just like, oh, goodness.
And do you know what? Like, she was like, I threw up. And then I did something else. And then I peed myself a little. And then I threw up again. And I was like, and then my mother called. And I was like, that is the absolute quintessential pregnancy experience. I threw up. I cried. I peed myself a little. I threw up again.
Because they haven't gotten married yet. So the mom's having a fit about that.
Yeah, they're living in sin. That poor child will be a bastard.
Living in sin. But then over dispatch, something's stirring up. And then he's like, you going to be able to take care of it? She's like, yeah, I'm not changing my shoes because she's in her Crocs. So they go out.
He goes, we can go to the courthouse and get married right now. And she's like, no, we can't because these are the only shoes I can wear.
But then
white Crocs with little charms. They're super cute.
I think this is one of the things that I think you and Dreamer go on and on about these two. And I think they're finally starting. I think these two are actually, they're in a good place. And I think you can tell that because
I still don't think
he's
too good for her.
Well, but I think Huey's like, you got this. She's pregnant. She's got this. And then he's like, take care of your mom, Robin. And I was like, oh, that is just the sweetest. Because in my mind, it could be a boy or a girl's name. You know what I mean? It could go either way. And it's just like, I think it's just the sweetest thing. And then she goes, she takes off, she's up in the air.
Yep.
And you close in, and it's just Huey smiling. Life is good. Fade to black. And I'm just like, oh, can I tell you, I was like, I think they did it. They did.
Yeah.
They wrapped up a show in a way that I was like, I'm good with this. Like, there's a lot of shows I've had lots of issues with. I think they pulled it off at the very end. All of the little detours, stuff they took along the way, they got back to them, and they did it in a way where it made sense to me. All of those actions that people were doing in this final episode made sense. So I was happy. I didn't regret it. I didn't think any of it sucked. Sure, was it not world-ending apocalypse stuff? I mean, it got close to it, but it didn't have to go there for there to be, for me, a satisfying ending for the show.
I also, not only was I completely satisfied with the ending, it was the best episode of the season for me. You know, which I'm like, going into it, I think like a lot of fans, I was scared. I was like, you got an hour. I don't know how you're going to fucking do this.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you're going to grab all these ends and pull them back together. And were there things I wish they changed in the final episode? Yeah, there were. You know, but
like the notes and the beats and everything for the characters, like I felt like they did the things they needed to do.
And I think as well, it's a, you know, a satirical thing. And I think it plays to that it's grounded in reality. They didn't change the world. They removed one lunatic, but you know it's going to come again. So it's not,
it's not a,
but it's not a, you know, it's not a happily ever after forever. Like, you know, love or hate the supernatural ending. It's a happily ever after. They're in heaven together. It's done. Nothing else is going to happen. You know, I mean, there's the Winchester, but that's irrelevant. That also canonically takes place in between the barn scene and the bridge scene. So when you get to the bridge scene, you know, it's done. It's finished. That is a happily ever after. This is, in the fan fiction world, a happy for now. Will there be another lunatic like Homelander? Without a doubt. Of course there will.
But you can kind of hope too that there's the time where like you've got people that are still there to battle. That's you kind of leaves you with that, like, there's hope.
Kind of almost similar to the way the Avengers ends. And obviously, you know, the Marvel MCU was planned to be much bigger than the Avengers. But the first Avengers movie, and they're like, you know, coming towards the end, and somebody says something about there'll be something else. Tony Stark, I think, is like, yeah, and we'll be here. You know, and obviously what goes to shit there is infighting, but that's that same kind of vibe. You get you know, they've prepped Marie and Jordan and those guys to keep the fight, and the world knows now what it didn't know before, and maybe parents will stop giving V to their children. But
because everything has been exposed. You at least got to hope for a few generations until they forget again, which I think is what we run into over and over again. Is when people start to forget the history, what ends up happening again, you know? So
it's like, you know it runs in cycles, but this cycle is done.
Yeah.
And it's satisfying. And we lost some people, and it's sad. And I am sad for Butcher. I'm not sad that he died. I'm sad that he couldn't let it go. You know? Yeah. Even when he'd done what he set out, just couldn't let go. And it cost him everything in the end. But I was, in a very real way, truly satisfied by this ending. So I'm just gonna grab some thoughts from Discord. So I'll scroll back up because the conversation quickly devolved to Vought Rising. So we got Sal Samandine 76. given the absolute clusterfuck that it could have been, this ending was surprisingly good. Now got to patiently wait for Vought Rising to start airing.
Mm-hmm.
Killer Bees, that season was pretty rough, but at least they ended it well. I'm satisfied. Jackie, I enjoyed the whole thing, not 100% on board with all the choices they made, and some episodes were definitely stronger than others, but I think they wrapped the whole thing up nicely. I love that Kimiko used love and not anger to end in the end.
Yeah.
And Butcher got to be the one to deal the killing blow to Homelander, you know, how Homelander groveled, Huey had the stones to pull the trigger, satisfying. Killer Bees, loved MM's story, which was, I think it was the last episode, about the injured bird and his nickname. He got his happily ever after, and Ryan finally got a real father figure. So Sandra warned me last week that somebody died, and I was adamant that it was going to be MM, because I was like, that would be really poignant.
There was such a monologue that I was like, it can go so many ways in that episode. I mean, I felt like,
I really thought when they were fighting in the theater with the fucking cat and the dog, and that was every bit of that was weird. I was like, this is going to be the moment.
Yeah.
So I was totally blindsided by Frenchie. I knew one of them, but I thought it would have been like poetic.
Yeah.
And I suppose tropey and cliche to have him not make it back to his family. So the fact that he did
was in the back seat for this episode really a lot. Like he didn't get a lot. Like he was there, but he wasn't. Like I feel like a lot of his story was already getting like wrapped up in terms of his arc. You know what I mean? Especially with Soldier Boy and then everything that happened with him in prison and how like he was kind of like, so I feel like he was almost getting wrapped up in that way that I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna die? Like it kind of felt like once he had that moment, I was like, oh, this could go. He could be done. He was moving to the place where when you see him with his wife, I'm like, yes. When he did the thing with Ryan, I was like, the man's back. The man's back on his mission before he got veered off again. You know, with Butcher and stuff.
So Jackie, I like Soldier Boy's role in season 2. Yes, he took up a lot of space, but he was supposed to. I don't think Homelander's arc would have been complete without having Soldier Boy blocking his light, making him look small every time he turned, every time he was around. Jensen's screen presence was perfect for that. And it was. It is, you know, like we slogged out through Countdown. The three of us, me, Sandra, and Dreamer, we slogged out through Countdown. But it is truly a joy to watch Jensen act. Even if you're not, I mean, like I loved Soldier Boy, but he doesn't have to be the hero like Dean Winchester or even Mark Meacham. Yeah, but it's truly a joy to watch him act and to see and I mean the Boys is full of great actors, but Jensen comes and schools them all. Yeah, you know, on what you can do with just a twitch of your face, a dart of your eyes. Like the man is so fucking skilled. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah. The audience was never. This is still Jackie. The audience was never supposed to buy into Homelander's delusions of grandeur. We were supposed to see him for what he was the whole time. See his insecurity and smallness underneath all that terrifying power. At least that's how it came across to me. And like we touched on earlier on, as much as I was frustrated, I think by Jensen, and I think the season would have been fine with someone else in place of Soldier Boy. You really did need. Homelander wouldn't have gone as far if he hadn't have been standing in that shadow, and Jensen was perfect for that.
So I think the thing that you keep hitting on that I think is like, you know, having Jensen in there for that part, yes, total sense. But the fact, like you said, they're building in that Vought Rising, like that one episode where they go back. You know, all of that is like, well, this is going to come back. We're going to have Quinn. Yeah. So it's like, I see that absolutely, but then you also see how they're giving you this stuff to build on, and you're going to see these people again. Like I really want to know Quinn's backstory. Like all you saw was him slapped up to a wall for God knows how long. I want to see that character.
That's the frustrating.
I want to see that.
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing this, but I'm really angry that Amazon was so heavy-handed with it. Yeah, and I, you know, like feeling protective of Jensen as someone coming from the supernatural fandom. I'm sorry, the cat is being adorable right now. You're so handsome. Like feeling protective over this actor that, you know.
We've had so many conversations about this too. It's like we want good things for them. My constant, I just fall back on it. Like this lightning in a bottle that they had with Supernatural. I don't know how all of that converges again.
It won't converge again, but that's fine. What I just don't like,
but we're anxious.
Well, like we're worried. Yeah, we're worried. But it was so frustrating to see him just like shoved from pillar to post almost, because it wasn't for the character, it was for the prequel. And it was so frustrating to watch. But, you know, that
We'll
is what
see.
it is. We'll watch Vault Rising. Amazon's got us by the nuts anyway.
Yeah.
We'll watch it. So then I chimed in, well, I am low-key a damp mess, but honestly, that was the best episode of the season. And you know what? Say what you will about William Butcher the psychopath. When he sets his mind to a task, he gets it done. Pay no attention to the miles and miles of corpses and ruined lives he's left in his wake. Killer Bees had mentioned that her only disappointment was that we didn't get to see Maeve, because she was in the opening, like the little opening recap-y doofer.
Yeah.
So, and it would have been really, really good to pop in on Maeve just for 5 minutes and just see how she was getting on her ranch with her love.
I don't know if this is accurate, but I think Kripke had said that the actress has retired, like, from acting.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough then.
Yeah. I mean, I think I remember hearing that and, like, reading it somewhere, that's one of the reasons why you didn't see her.
That's fair enough then. So Livia says, agreed, definitely the best episode of the season. She felt it was a bit anticlimactic, but there were a few good scenes. She was already prepared for Huey to kill Butcher, because that happens in the comic, but I wasn't sure how it would go down in the show. I thought their final scene together made the final episode way better than it actually was for me, at least. 7 years and now it's over, feels weird. What else have we got? And then they were talking about Vault Rising. Sal mentioning that the Soldier Boy in the Vault Rising trailer seems radically different from the Soldier Boy we got in the Boys.
I saw that the trailer, Jensen dropped the trailer today, so I'm going to watch that with Ted a little bit later just to get it. I've been holding back. I'm like, I'm not going to watch it yet. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and watch it later.
MJ replied to my comment about Butcher, saying, I told Bestie I'm making t-shirts that say Butcher was right. Because he was.
MJ has written a lot about Butcher, so I know MJ has.
Well, that's the thing. MJ's with me. MJ's hashtag Team Billy Butcher.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
So again, somebody else who didn't give permission for their name. Loving that Kimiko was the one that took Homelander out. Her and Frenchie were faves on the show. Love how Ryan ended up, that he survived for one, getting to go his own way. And this person is sort of like live reacting as she's watching, because it's, and I spoke too soon, now Butcher's gone off on his last out rampage. That Butcher moment when he looked at Huey in slow-mo is giving me such Samatha, seeing memories of the Impala and Dean to help overpower Lucifer in him before jumping in the pit. It was a really good series finale. Don't like how they left Soldier Boy, but really like this. Kimiko eating a Madeline, then Frenchie's on her, Starlight pregnant, and a bit of Bobby to finish it off. Yeah. I kept waiting for the cliffhanger that never came. Love that. I was a little mad after episode 7, but this was really good. So that's kind of like our thoughts from our Discord. And the last thing that's happened in that thread is the official Vault Rising first look, which has a beautiful image of clean shaven Jensen.
I'm looking forward to just seeing that. Point frankly, nice. I just want to see that. I just want to see all the jawline. I'll be very happy with the jawline. Yeah, we should wrap up. This is going to be a quick episode, 2.5 hours. So, our
we had stuff to talk about.
Yeah, my goal is to have this edited. This is going to be out on Tuesday. So hopefully,
cross your fingers, guys.
Less than a week after, because we really wanted to get our thoughts out there. Well, I know everybody is kind of doing the thing and not wait too long. So we'll be interested in hearing what listeners have to say, those who aren't in Discord who might want to chime in. If not, join Discord and let us know what you thought of the boys overall and do the things. But let's wrap this baby up. Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. Email us at idlinginttheimpala@gmail.com. Comment on Spotify, leave a YouTube comment, join our Discord and chat with fellow idlers and us in real time. Check out our merch store, which is another fun way to show your support. You can find details for everything on our website. That's idlinginttheimpala.com. We've got our Priding in the Impala fundraiser going on right now. It's running through June 30th. So make sure you stop by the merch store, grab something with Priding in the Impala on it. Net proceeds are going to get split. Half's going to go to the Trevor Project. Other half's going to go back into the Impala podcast so we can do all the things. Want to fuel our supernatural road trip? Consider supporting us on Ko-fi. We have perks to go along with different membership tiers, and we'd love to have you along for the ride.
Speaking of perks, we've got special shout-outs for some of our Ko-fi members. From our Shotgun Picks and Music tier, we've got Runaway Dreamer, Crowley's Mistress, Sam and Dean 76, Elia, Charlie, and Flannelled Faye. From our Baby Driver tier, we've got Livia. Thanks for picking the tunes in the car and steering us in the right direction. Support like yours keeps our podcast going. Don't forget, you can always support us for free by liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube, and following, rating, sharing on audio platforms. Engagement like that really helps us with the algorithms. All hail their benevolence. As always, we have the causes we support in the description. So for me, you have LGBTQ plus talking charities, one of which is the Trevor Project. From Sandra, you have mental health charities. And of course, the main causes that we are highlighting, championing, spotlighting are World Central Kitchen and Doctors Without Borders. If you want to know more about these causes, why we're supporting them, what they mean to us, check out idlingintheimpala.com. There's a page there called Causes Cause with all the details. So with that, we will say goodbye to the boys. It's been a killer 7 years. Let us know your thoughts. Thank you for joining us in the back seat, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.